Please join me in welcoming our first speaker tonight, Gigi.
Hi, I'm Gigi, alcoholic. Oh, be quiet. He just said, I speak till 20 after. Wrong. I don't know, 15 minutes or something, I think, till 8 o'clock, right? Okay. So, hey, I'm Gigi, alcoholic still. I'm still an alcoholic. He's throwing me off. And I want to thank Franny for asking us to come and speak here tonight. What it was like, what happened, and what it's like for me today, quickly, is I started out in, the fine Finn family, I call it, and we grew up in an alcoholic family. It was lovely. I mean, we had all the things on the outside that looked good, and we acted like everything was fine, so it was good. And, my parents kind of wanted me to, be happy, and so I did very good at being happy. I pretended and acted as if. And in the beginning, basically, I just grew up that way, and I won't go there because it's not. I don't have enough time. So anyway, then I was a failure in school, a straight F student, and ended up in continuation, and I loved stoners and partiers, and so I started getting high, and at Disneyland, we went on a field trip, and we took four-way window pane, drank a bottle of tequila, and my first arrest was at Disneyland. I stole Winnie the Pooh, and from there I progressed to bigger and better things, and then I traveled and moved and left cities and left people and left places, and I love to party, and my motto was I'll party as hard as I can, as much as I can, for as long as I can. And that was, what I did. I worked in the restaurant field. I was a bartender, cocktail waitress. I got drinks, if people pissed me off, I just quit that job and went to another job. I never confronted situations or anything. And in 1980, I went to visit my girlfriend in Florida, and on the way there, I got drunk, and one night we were at a party, and at that party, everybody had everything but the kitchen sink, and, they had every bit of anything you could dream of, and I got snookered and dove into the intercoastal because I thought I would be different, and I dove in, and when I got out, everyone was staring at me, and I was blood from head to toe. I'd hit the bottom, and the barnacle sliced me all up, and so I was kind of in a blackout, I guess, because in the middle of the night, I woke up going, ow, and my girlfriend, she's like, you are such an idiot, and so she was a little pissed, and she went to a wedding. I was a little hungover, so I stole $300 from her and flew back to LA because I'd overstayed my welcome. And I bring that up because we were just together. She still lives in Florida, and we went to high school together. We've been friends now for 30 years, and she invited me to come out there and bought a ticket for me to go to a concert, and we have a great relationship, and I made amends to her because of this program, and I'm just forever grateful. And one more time, opportunities have happened that happen because I'm sober, and basically, and I am like our friend that just took the cake, Derek. I think, yeah, congratulations. Happy birthday to all of you who took a cake and chips. Welcome to the new people. And, I started here in '83. I got my third 502, and they said that I should go to jail, and so I did. And while I was in jail, they brought in panels, and that's the first time I was ever introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous. And from there, I got a year and a half, and then a 4.5, and then, I've done time and then drank again, and it's not advisable. Luckily, I'm one of the few that has been fortunate enough to make it back here, and a lot of people don't. In 1991 was I hope to God, the very last drink, and it's not God. He wants me here, I believe. It's me. And on April 29th, 1991, I went out one more time to be a normal drinker, and I drank like a pig, so I didn't succeed, and I drank everything but the kitchen sink and blacked out that night and don't remember anything. And the next morning I woke up puking my guts out in my own vomit, and my mom's voice echoed through the house saying it's a beautiful day and we're looking forward to playing golf. And that morning, you know, I just was sicker than a dog and drove out to go play golf and looked at them and said I had the stomach flu because I didn't have the heart to tell them that I'd been drinking. And the next day I went to a meeting, and it was at Brentwood, and the lady that was speaking that night was this woman who I had wanted to ask prior to going out to be my sponsor, but was afraid to ask because I thought she would say no. And I asked her that night because she was the speaker, and she said, you know, I've been waiting, because she had heard that I'd wanted her to be my sponsor. And I made a commitment that no matter how much the phone weighed, I would pick it up anyway, and I would take contrary actions to the way that my thinking said. And my thinking tells me that you don't want to hear from me, that I have nothing to say, that, you know, you really don't have to call her now. You could call her later, you know, when the problem's over and I'm in the solution or whatever. You know, wait till you're, you know, better. And, you know, I did it anyway, and I established a wonderful relationship with her. And when I had 90 days, I'd been up in the Palisades also, and I was getting gas at the gas station, and this guy jumped in my car and he took my purse and drove off, and that pissed me off. 90 days, you have a lot of anger, and so I ran after him and jumped in his car and took my purse back, and he drove off and ran my leg over. And I tell that story because I ended up on crutches, which was kind of a good thing, because I was at a meeting and I was trying to crutch and carry coffee at the same time. Now, this is a very difficult task, and I realized at that moment how stubborn and hard-headed and unwilling I am to ask for help. And that moment for me was huge, because I had to turn to somebody and say, could you help me carry my coffee, you know? And for me, I'm the type of person that'll move the entire Empire State Building without asking for someone to help me, you know? I'd rather do it on my own because I don't want you to say no, you know? It's easier for me to do things of my own, you know, doing. And so, you know, through that, I learned how to do many things in sobriety. I've learned, you know, I've had to stand up and believe in who I am. And like I said, I'm the type of person who quits jobs and leaves them, and instead of confronting situations. And in sobriety, I've had to learn how to confront and face situations instead of run away from my problems. And in 87, my brother, he got AIDS, and in 95 he got very sick, or 94 he got very sick, and you know, I got to fly back and forth to Hawaii and be there for him, and my dad went with us the first time, my mom and dad, and my dad was really having a hard time because, you know, it was AIDS, and my brother was gay, and so it was very hard for him, and he didn't have anyone to talk to. And I went to the 12 Coconuts, the meeting down at the beach, and this man, his son had died from the same thing, and so he said, you know, why don't you bring your dad and have him come and talk to me? And I said to him, why don't you go and talk to this man? And you know, it's just the miracle that happens here in Alcoholics Anonymous. It's one person sharing with another, and it was also at that time that I was having a really hard time going to small meetings and learning how to share and sharing about what was going on. And every speaker meeting that I went to, I don't know, you know, it's like after my brother died, I never heard another speaker speak about AIDS, but every speaker meeting that I went to, it was like every speaker was talking about what was going on in my life. And that has been my experience in so many things that has happened. It's like when I walk into a room, the music of Alcoholics Anonymous is playing. It's somebody sharing something exactly what I need to hear at that moment, you know, and that's been my experience here. And through that, you know, I ended up up having a tough time getting jobs. I was in and out of work, and I was just a mess. But I quit the one job I'd been at for a really long time, and I was struggling. And then Steve called and said he had a great job for me, Gatorade Hummer tour, drive across the country and do Hoop It Up. And so I said, oh, that sounds fun. So I got 5 of us caravanned across the country with our own Hummers, and each of us had a basketball hoop on the back, and we went to all these cities across the United States, and it's something that I always dreamed of doing, except for getting like a RV, but I had a Hummer. So, but, and we had a hotel, so it was fun. And, you know, I went to different meetings, and I turned 5 in Florida, and then I came back here, and Steve and I started playing golf and hiking together, and we became friends. And one day I invited him to go to a wedding, and he came up from like behind me, and I knew we were going to be together. And you know, we have a really nice relationship today. It's a work in progress. It's a relationship. They're loving and wonderful, and they're also work. But he drove me to Al-Anon, but that's a good place. He's the next speaker, so I won't talk too much. No, he's really great. So, and you know, we've been through a lot in sobriety and married life together. We've been married. Well, we've been together 6 years, and coming up, we'll be married 5 years in January, and we had a wonderful wedding, you know, and I suit up and show up for Alcoholics Anonymous, and as a result of that, I've gotten a lot of things. I had a lot of commitments. I saw greeters today, and, you know, I've done a lot of work in alcohol. I had a panel for years, and I love panel work, but a lot was going on this last year, so we had to give up our panels, but I'm going to go back and get another panel. And, you know, I mean, this is where I get it. I have a sponsor that I call on a regular basis and see, and we work the steps together, and it's the format and the progress, and, you know, you just have to do the work to you know, be here, I think. And I get to work with others, and I go to women's meetings, and I go to, you know, I of my own being have to go to a lot of meetings. Otherwise, I get irritable, discontent, and discombobulated, and my life just doesn't work if I'm not in meetings. I don't know. I try, you know, like there's been times where I go to like 1 meeting a week, and that just so doesn't work for me. I need at least 3 for sure, 5 best. But you know, I'm 12. I just turned 12, so, you know, I mean, I think for me, I won't ever get better. I'm a slow progress. But I love AA, and I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad to be sober, and I thank you for listening. Thanks.